Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk to you about the Expat Adjustment Cycle. Now, if you have ever lived abroad for at least 1 month or longer, you'll be familiar with this cycle, or at least the stages of this cycle, because you're bound to experience at least some of these stages. Now, moving abroad can be a really exciting and rewarding experience, but there are certain steps that we tend to fall into along the way. And it's kind of like a roller coaster. We go through a roller coaster of emotions with each stage that we go to. This cycle is developed into typically either 4 or 5 stages. It really depends on the individual because some people can flip-flop between stages. Some people might even skip stages. So I'm just going to go over the 4 stages with you of the Expat Adjustment Cycle to help explain to you what exactly it is and help you kind of associate if you're feeling these similar feelings. And I will then give you pointers on how to make the most of your expat experience. So as I explained to you the expat adjustment cycle, you might see some similarities to when you are first starting to date somebody. So the first stage of the cycle is the honeymoon period, and this is when everything looks wonderful. You just stepped off of a plane into a new land and everything is different. There's new scenery, new people, new food, new customs. Sometimes there's a new language, and for some people this can be very, very exciting. You never know where your day is going to end up. You don't know who you're going to meet, what connections you'll make, or what opportunities will be presented for you. And this can be a very, very fun period for some people. Unfortunately though, this, just like in a relationship, the honeymoon stage in the expat adjustment cycle is not permanent. It only lasts maybe a few weeks, maybe a month or two, until our rose-colored glasses come off and we see the reality of what we're living in. Okay, stage 2 of the expat adjustment cycle is, are you ready for it? Culture shock. Yes, this is a stage where those rose-colored glasses come off and you start to see the reality of where you're living and the decision that you have made. This is the stage where those once minor differences that were exciting to you now start to hold some weight and start to make your life a bit more frustrating because it's hard to adjust to this new culture, especially if there is a language difference. In this new stage, you might find yourself seeing the world in black and white, right and wrong, good and bad. This typically means that everything that you're familiar with, your home culture, your home food, the home language is right. And the new culture, the new food, the new language, and the new people are wrong. And this can be very isolating. You might find yourself spending a lot more time alone, at home, perhaps even depressed because you're homesick for your family, your friends, and your culture that you're so familiar with. If this stage is enduring, you might find yourself kind of in between 2 different cities because as time goes on, you feel more and more distant from your family, your friends, and the culture back home, yet you don't really feel integrated into your new society either. So you feel a little misplaced, and this can be very frustrating and debilitating even. You might start to question yourself and your decisions and whether it was even a good decision at all to move abroad. But if you are feeling this way, please, please, please hold on because it does get better. You will adjust and it will be so worth it. And if you stay tuned, I will give you tips on how to make this the most rewarding experience of your life. Stage 3 of the expat adjustment cycle is adjustment. As human beings, we are built to survive and thrive. So we will do whatever it takes to make our situation better. If we have been feeling bad for a while, that just won't cut it anymore because we naturally want to feel good. So we will find little ways to get by in our life just to make us feel a little bit better. So in the adjustment cycle, when you're living in your new territory, you might find yourself patronizing the same cafes or the same local shops, seeing the same local people in your neighborhood to kind of build yourself a bubble of safety and security and familiarity. This naturally will help you make you feel more comfortable in your new land and your new culture. And this is also the stage that you might pick up on the little customs of your new culture. So for instance, here in London, if you're going down the escalators of the tube, you have to stand on the right. The left side of the escalator are for people walking, trying to catch their train. If you stand on the left, you will get yelled at. So you don't want to make that mistake. Or if you do make that mistake, you only make it once. So you pick up on these little nuances that you wouldn't otherwise know. However, this might be a little bit frustrating at first or a little bit scary. It does help you feel more like a local. Stage 4 of the expat adjustment cycle is acceptance and integration. So after some time has passed, you've probably started to accept your new way of life. You've made this decision and now you're seeing it through. And things are starting to become more comfortable. It's likely that you've built yourself a network of people through different niches in your society. For instance, you've probably met people through work, or you know some friends from school or from the gym or through the local pub that you normally go to. And knowing people through these different networks and societies allows you to feel more integrated within your new city and your new culture. It's at this point that you probably have gotten your bearings with the city as well. You probably know how to get from point A to point B pretty easily. And you probably know the best spots in town for pizza or for sushi or for comedy, whatever it may be. You start to really feel like a local. And at this point, the culture and the customs, which once felt so foreign, now start to feel familiar and normal. And at this point, if you have reached this point, hold on tight, because your life is about to get amazing. So now here are some tips to help keep you on the top end of this cycle. Tip number 1, find things you enjoy doing. Go out and explore the city. See what there is to offer you. The more that you go out and enjoy and see the city, the more connected you're going to feel to the city, and the more excited you're going to be about being in this new environment. This is a good time to find key places that you can familiarize yourself with. This can be a rooting technique to allow you to feel more comfortable in times when things are a little bit shaky. So if there is a pub down the road from you, it might be worthwhile to keep checking out this pub, because when you're feeling nervous, this is a good place to go to make you feel more grounded. It doesn't have to be a pub, it could be a supermarket, it can be a local shop, but it's good to have these rooting places to help you feel more grounded and more familiar with your territory. This will give you a sense of comfort and a reconnection with yourself. Also, meet people. Make connections when you are doing these things that interest you, because meeting people through these connections will allow you to make new friends. So remember when you were a kid and you had hobbies and activities and you had interests? Bring it up again, because this is the time that you need to actually make those connections. And look up meetup.com, because if you have a hobby, most likely someone has made a group for it on meetup.com. And this is a really, really good avenue to make new friends. Secondly, be curious. Take interest in your surroundings. Look at the architecture, the landscape, the people, the culture, the food. What are people doing? How are they going about their lives? Take interest and be curious about this new society that you now call home, because this will help you feel more comfortable in this new arena. Thirdly, connect with others. Make friends with the locals. They'll help you feel more at home. Also, make friends with other expats. They've been through this situation before, and they can show you the way. It also reaffirms that you are not alone in this process. Fourthly, stay connected to your company, your family, and your friends back home. They will still be a support system for you, even though you're so far away. Key psychological factors that determine expat success are open-mindedness, relatability to others, curiosity, and self-confidence. So make sure you keep these all in tune, because this is going to be your assurance to have success in your expat adventure. And also make it the most exciting time of your life, because not everyone gets this opportunity and you should take full advantage of it. So that's it for today. I hope you guys got some useful tools and tips, and stay tuned next week when I talk about re-entry back into your home country. Because believe it or not, there is culture shock associated with that as well. Believe me, I've experienced it, and a lot of people don't actually talk about this. So I'll see you next week.